Hello, everyone. This is Nana Matari here. As you can all see, I'm right now in a monastery, and I'm wearing the nun clothes. So it's a temporary nun. So I won't be, doing anything else or religion stuff, but I teach meditation in the scientific form. So this is my platform where I meet with my meditators, and I also help people to share their story, how their life changed through meditations and so on. So today I request my beloved friends, and we've been knowing each other, for like more than 4 years now. So this is Sue Sacco. So she is a very committed meditator, and at the same time, she has been, the whole life long, she's been working on herself for the personality development and so on. And we met each other in New York City since 2019 at the 18 at the beginning of 2018. And so it has been more than 4 years. And she has been going through a lot of personality, breakthroughs or transformation through meditations and, of course, practicing the universal law. She is the mother of 2 beautiful girls, and she's married to her husband for nearly 30 years or more than that. And I just would like to give it away to beautiful Sue Sacco, and then other meditators will help her ask her questions. I think Jan and William, so they are also the same meditators in our class. And please, Sue, take it away.
Thank you. Thanks, Nandar. Thanks for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. It's so great to be here with all of you, everyone, like-minded people, right? I think we continually seek each other out. So thanks for this. Thanks for sharing about me. I had written some of those things. So I just I'm going to share a little bit about my past, kind of what brought me here, a little bit about me now. And then I'll go into some of the details of what brought me here. So let's see. So I as Nandar mentioned, I'm a student of continuous improvement and change. It definitely started from being in a family of 6 kids, and always, and kind of I ended up being the psychiatrist for everybody. I'm not sure how that happened, but I was the one that most of my family members came to kind of have guidance and to balance things out. So something about me must have been natural back then. So I've used that, in my life. And so I kind of was their support system, and then I became other people's support system too. I've learned through this process, actually, that the more I thought people needed me and what I had to say, it wasn't exactly true, because whenever you come from only your own perspective, it's good, and it's always good to share, which is really what I'm going to do with you today. But what I've learned is that everybody has their own journey, and that all we can do is kind of share thoughts and a little bit of guidance for those who may need to hear it. So I've always tried to do that. My previous life before my current business is I was in human resources in corporate America for a very long time. Decided to come out of that and start my own business. So for 20 years now, I've been in the promotional products business. Started with a business partner, and for about 12 years now, I've been on my own. I was always seeking freedom and growth kind of in my own way, and that was the best way for me to do it. So along that way, I kind of learned I was looking for freedom, and then I realized after a while that I had it, that I had created it, and I just needed to recognize it. So this journey has led me there too. So there's that. So I just wanted to get to know a little bit about you, because Nandar mentioned to you that I'm a mother of 2 grown adult daughters and a husband for many years. So a lot of learning came from that experience too. A little later, I'll kind of share with you about how having children really kind of pushed me to a lot of the growth that I've experienced. And it was in trying to help them as well. But I'd like to ask each of you, if you don't mind, to just kind of unmute yourself and chime in and share for 60 seconds. What's your profession, whether or not you have a significant other and or children, and if not children of your own, maybe someone else's, right, who's in your family, who you mentor closely. I don't know how to manage that, Nandor. Should we just start with whoever?
Yeah, I saw that Larry open up. So I think Larry can also share.
Sure. Hi, I'm married to my wife for about 31 years, and I retired recently from corporate America. I have 3 grown kids, and I had a small food business after I retired, but with COVID, that was kind of not as fun as it was in the beginning. And now I'm just kind of thinking about what's next.
Thanks, Larry.
Yeah, I am a meditation coach and trainer. I would just go and so then I give the chance to other people. So I do not marry to anyone, and I do not have the partner for now, and I also do not have kids because I'm very much dedicated to my spirituality, and that is why. And yeah, I will give it up to Sue again, and you can call it out, Sue. If
And you do have
like
nieces, though, right? Don't you have nieces that you support? And
yeah, you're right. I support. I have 2, little niece and nieces, and then 2 nephews actually. But I'm not very much close to my nephews. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Sue.
yeah, thanks. Anybody else want to go?
I'll jump in.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm Jen. Let's see. So not married. Oh, I'm a health coach, and a podcaster. Not married, these days by choice. And kids. So my nephew will be 8 in September, and most of my friends have kids. So there's definitely kids in my life, just not my own.
Okay. Thanks, Jen. Thanks, everybody. It's helping me to get to know you a little bit. So appreciate that. Anybody else? No? Okay. All right. So I really just wanted to get to know you a little bit better. Like I said, my story, it'll resonate with some and others. So wanted to share about my spiritual, physical, and mental health journey, right? It's all health, it's all working together. And so I'll just share with you. So I was personally raised Catholic. When I started doing meditation and got trained as a yoga teacher and all these other things, like I actually got a little nervous. Oh boy, am I giving up my, and I learned very quickly that everything really is just our universe working together. So in that came a lot of other modalities for me. So I started therapy in my early 20s. That was sparked by a bad relationship. But what I learned from that was to move on from the relationship, first of all. And then second of all, was just basic understandings of how to be better in my life, right? How to have better relationships and to ask what questions and to manage all of that. So I've been working out since I was like 20 years old. I've had professional and business coaches for a very long time too. And I also learned through that is that there's times to have some of that support in your life. And then sometimes you need to realize it's time to move on to something else or to someone else that can help support all of that. So I've experienced that. But I wanted to tell you about my kids. So I have 2 daughters, they're 29 and 25. And they each had different kind of sicknesses. My youngest had asthma from almost when she was born, and my other had like certain food allergies. So when I started getting trained as a yoga teacher, I met a Chinese medicine doctor who was also a chiropractor. So he was both. And so he did a session and then I went to him, and I was actually able through Chinese medicine to support these issues out of my children. It took months, it took getting them off of Western medicine and building Chinese medicine. It was kind of quite an experience, but that was my first experience in holistics and affecting change for our bodies from the inside out. So that's kind of obviously the physical. And then that led me into just a basic holistic healing path. Transcendental meditation I did for a few years before I met Nandar. And so that kind of led to all of that. Okay. So anyway, so I'm sharing all that with you is because they're all different modalities, clearly, right? It could sound like I jumped from one thing to the next, but it was like every time one thing happened in my life, I just moved on to whatever support I needed after that. But the most important thing I wanted to tell you is that all of this prepared me for when I met Nandar and for being ready for what she was there to teach me. So it's the old statement, you know, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So that's Nandar for me and for a lot of us. So yeah, so if you don't mind too, I'd like to share like a little quick story that kind of brought me there. And hopefully it's something that maybe resonates with some of you too. So has anybody heard about, if you just kind of raise your hand if I could see you, just like where one selfless act in your life, how it can change and affect your future? Has anybody heard that? Okay, so that's exactly what happened to me. So I mean, it was a long time ago, but my girlfriend's husband died. It was sudden, and all I could think of was to just pick up a bag, load it up, and just go to her house. And I didn't know what she would need from me. It didn't matter. I just showed up and I told her, you don't want me here, you tell me, because it's very personal time. But if you want me to stay, I will stay. So I just did. And from there, you know, of course, I supported her and her family through that time. But I met one of her neighbors who I didn't really know very well because she kept coming over and we talked and we ended up we're in the same business. So throughout that time, I just kind of got to know each other. And then then a few months passed and all of a sudden she's calling me and she says, you know what, we talked about your business. And she says, I happen to be in this networking chapter, a BNI in New York City, and I'm leaving that business. And I wondered if you're interested in coming there to be part of the group or at least, you know, visit. So I said, sure. So I did. So that day I joined, you know, you agreed to like go, you know, from me going from New Jersey, getting up at 4 a.m. to go to this group. I'm like, okay, it sounds good for my business. Sounds good for me reaching out and meeting people because, you know, you're in your business on your own. Sometimes you don't get as much an opportunity. And so I joined the same day. So that leads me to, of course, there's a lot of wonderful karma that I was able to build in my life, just enjoying being in that group, getting to know people, supporting each other, and then being a part of the group. So then a few years into this experience, who walks in the door as a guest is Nandar. So completely intrigued by what she did, and it took me a little while though to kind of switch over because I was doing transcendental meditation for a long time. Different conversations with the Nandar then led me to this. So I don't know if that resonates with any of you, but it started as me just kind of wanting to be kind to somebody. And then it turned into a long chain of events that's led me to even all of you today. So that's why I'm sharing the story, because I think maybe each of you has some kind of story like that yourself. And I think it's important to realize it, to honor it. And that I think those moments kind of deserve a moment of gratitude. Yeah. So I didn't say at the beginning, but like when we're done, if anybody wants to ask questions, it's fine. But I'm also going to type in my email address in the chat. So if anybody wants to reach out to me and kind of connect personally, I'm available and would love to do that with you. So there we go. So I just want to share with you some of the things definitely that meditation has helped me with. So I've always been an overthinker, still working on that one, but mostly I've kind of cured it, and I've healed my hip pain. So I had this pain in my hip that I really thought was just from sitting at a desk, and I had it for years before I was like, all right, let me go check with the doctor. Went through all of that channel. Then starting the meditation and all that, I started to realize, gee, you know, I was introduced to different books called Heal Your Body by Nandar and some others. And I started to realize, maybe there's something else. So actually Nandar connected me with somebody who does Reiki for a living. And I went there and I discovered that, so I was causing the pain myself. So sounds a little crazy, but that's exactly what happened. And within 2 weeks, after many, many years of pain, it was gone. So there's that as well. I learned to cut out all the noise, outside noise. I think the biggest thing though is to actually take time and listen to people. You know, I guess for years of being in business, it was always you'd listen, but at the same time you're listening to someone and their story is the same time you're thinking of what am I going to say? What am I going to share? How am I going to be included in this conversation? And I learned that sometimes and if you're even trying to learn about somebody, if you're just silent in the conversation, more listening, that people will talk and people will tell you. And instead of me always trying to interject, because I've done that with my children where I'm like, I'm busy telling them what to do next. And sometimes like you raise kids or you're part of a niece or nephew's life, right? And you just want to impart some kind of wisdom. It's natural, right? Because we want to help support the next generation. But sometimes like now I've got adult kids, right? So you take that being that way your whole life, raising them, teaching them, and it's like, all right, now they're grown-ups and they really don't want you to tell. It's like they want to be showing you, right? Like I get it. So in that mostly is where I've learned that lesson, to just be quiet and to listen, and out of their mouth will come their own thoughts and their own dreams. And you get to learn that, to watch other people evolve in front of you, right? So therefore, even though our opinion mattered, you know, you teach safety, you teach the important things, but the values of life and it being taken on, I think is important and joyful to watch. And sometimes the only way you can do it is what I started to say, is that we go into silence, be quiet, and allow others to share. Does anybody have any moment that like they'd like to share about that, where they've experienced the power of silence or listening?
I'll go. I resonate with your story about raising children. I work as a teacher for many years, as a school teacher, teaching music, and then later on teaching a preschool. And now I'm actually just teaching piano. And I personally myself don't have any children, but I feel like I have children because I'm always around with them, spending 6-7 hours with them all day. And I really resonate with Sue's point about they will be ready to listen and share with you when you stop talking so much. And that is very, very true. And oftentimes I see parents often wanting to like chime in, giving them things, telling them what to do. And as a teacher, I wanted to kind of just tell them like, you can chill, like chill, they will figure it out. It is their path to figure it out on their own. If you're always fixing their mistake, trying to do it for them, you rob them their opportunity to grow and learn and to be resilient. And that is actually the worst you can do as a parent and as a teacher. So I resonate with the idea of listen more, don't talk so much. People will show up and share with you when they are ready.
Of course, thank you too. You know, I wanted to share a little thing. My daughter took piano lessons when she was younger, and she was brilliant. And I just kept making her practice because that's what the teacher told me. And she stopped. And I'm like, darn it, like that was me. Like I undid some good. So I hope that parents that you share your time with, that they listen a little, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so too. It's kind of something I'm working on with the parents too. Sometimes I feel like educating children, especially, you're not just educating that individual, you're educating the family about how to set up the condition for them to grow. So to me, that's something I'm very excited about.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for sharing your story. That's wonderful. Anybody else? Let's see everybody. Okay.
Anyone would like to share for Sue? Today is maybe that everybody gets shocked after I shave my hair. Maybe that the people think that. Okay.
Okay,
I mean,
that's it.
it's-
I
No,
share it.
I did not push anyone. Just Jen, tell me.
I'll chime in. Well, so, in my work, even, everybody wants to tell me, everything they're eating or how great whatever it is, and to share that information isn't necessarily an invitation for me to comment on it, and on the other side of that too, sometimes it's, like I met somebody for lunch and they made a comment about what they were ordering. And I was like, I didn't say anything, so it's so interesting too, when we don't speak, right? When we stay silent, people fill in the blanks and reveal themselves. And that's really what they're looking for sometimes, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody wants to be heard, right? Like you said, everybody wants to be heard. And they don't always want it to be commented or to share our opinions. So
Yeah.
I learned some of that too, in like the power of silence, right? You just said that not everybody wants to have you comment, Jen, right? It's just listen to me. It's like, all right, just listen to me. I got to get this out, especially what you do to support people in their health journey, right? They want to share it with you because maybe they're a little embarrassed in whatever way of what they've done because they know they want to improve. So you just listening and giving that support is just, right? We're all making a difference. So thanks for sharing that, Jen. Okay, so there's something else that's coming up for me right now that I just wanted to share. I don't know if any of you have read the book, The Seed of the Soul. It's by Gary Zukov and Zukav. And he, all of what we're doing supports our focus and growth, but it specifically speaks to the difference between sensory personality, which is understanding the world as a human. The seat, S-C-A-T, yeah. So the understanding our world around us by our senses, hearing, touch, sound, smell, all of that. And it goes back to the story of like cavemen when they came in, like when it was survival, right? So everything in life was about survival. If I kill that animal, I get to eat it, and I'll eat it, and you won't. It was being able to live. But as our world has changed and grown, and of course we have completely different civilization, there's multi-sensory personality, which always was there, but we couldn't really focus on it before. But now, and that really speaks to intuition, right? We'll all say, oh, I kind of sensed that, or I kind of felt that, or I could feel it. So that is part of who we are as humans, and it helps to guide us. There's another book called The Gift of Fear, which is very different because it's written by a security professional. He's an expert in the field around the world. What is his name? Gavin DeBecker. He wrote that book, but that speaks directly to intuition and how it affects our safety and our security in our life, and how it can help guide us for a better world. So that one's worth reading too, but it specifically speaks, there's the story at the beginning of the book that talks about a woman, and it really talks about people who have terrible experiences. So I'm sorry to share that, but it does. Like, this woman was going into her home. She was being followed by someone at the door. She was carrying groceries, and it was a gentleman she didn't know. Her door was ajar, she could tell. Anyway, the story led to him following. She kept ignoring her intuition, and she ended up being followed by this gentleman into her home, locked in, raped, and then he was going to kill her. But at the last second, she followed her intuition one more time, and he left the room, and she followed right behind him. He was going to get a knife to kill her, and she went out her door and saved herself. So this gentleman who wrote the book, The Gift of Fear, tells this story because he wanted us all to see that our intuition can protect us. It's there. And then if we're more silent in our life and we have more balanced emotions, we can recognize that intuition. So there's a lot of good reasons for that, right? I feel that my intuition honestly guided me through this journey with Sandor because, I had lots of experiences that I shared with you, and I was doing meditation, but I just felt that Nanda was there for a reason in my life, and I followed my intuition. And so that's led me into my journey. The spiritual laws are, of course, what I learned mostly and that guided me. So that's it. That's my story. I really appreciate you guys listening. I hope that maybe something I said resonated. And thanks. Thanks again, Nandor, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Sue.
Hey, Sue, I just wanted to say something. I know we had a different plan for today, and I was going to help you and guide you, and I'm sorry. Things change, and you just did a beautiful job of all of it. I was going to ask a couple of cute questions. Didn't happen.
Okay.
You did such a wonderful job.
You want to? I mean, I was waiting for you to chime in. I didn't. So.
No, I know. I felt the pause, and I was on the train, and I couldn't do it. But I didn't know. I mean, I know you for so many years, and I was there in the room when you met Nandor that first time I met her as well, and it changed both of our lives and took both of our lives paths in different ways. And grateful for you to be able to share your story. Grateful. Just, for those of you that joined in today, some of you I've never met, some of you I know a long time. And this is just such a great community, and gratitude to you and Nandor both.
Thanks, William. Appreciate that.
Thank you very much, William. Yeah. Yeah, Sue said it beautifully that she learned about the, universal principle and how she learned to listen to your intuition, take a break, right? And all of it. And because Sue also know Jen for a while, is there anything else that you raised up in your, in your heart, what you would like to talk or ask to Sue?
I'm sort of curious, you started at the beginning, you were talking about, your relationship with your husband and your kids. And I'm sort of curious how that's evolved now after implementing, and sort of all of this becoming part of who you are. What do you see as a shift in that dynamic now?
With my family, my immediate, yeah. What a great question. Thank you for asking. So they ended up coming along on my journey, and it was natural. Like with my husband, I kind of asked him to a little, but then backed off. But my children specifically saw a change in me that I didn't even know, and they just kind of got on board. Now they all meditate every day, and they're changing their lives too. Like my husband, he's open to things, he's listening, because he's not that guy typically, right? So he's coming along, and he told me the same thing, like, I saw you change and I couldn't even explain it. And so it's helped them evolve. And gosh, that's not why I started this. If anything, it was the opposite. I got to tell you, I'm like, my husband's the kind that's like, oh, if you did something good, it must have been his idea somewhere along the line. I'm just saying the truth. I'm speaking my truth. So I'm like, no, this is my thing. I'm doing this, and I'm going to. And then he just kind of came in. I was kind of like, no, I'm meditating on my own. And I really fought him a little. And then I was just like, what am I doing? Right? It's time to open up and to share this with them. And all along, I wanted specifically for my children to like feel this and to have it easier than I had. And that happened. That's not why I started this, but it happened. Thank you, Jen. What a question.
Maybe that Daniel would like to share anything about your experience, or maybe similar to Sue, because you also started meditating, and your wife. Yeah, maybe I do not want to take over your story, but I just have a feeling that you have a similar story like Sue.
Quite, maybe not that much. I was very, very skeptical at the beginning. When you approached me, Nanda, said, yeah, you should meditate. And I said to myself, yeah, all right. And this is like 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago. And it just amazingly changed my life for the better. And I don't know what to say. I'm not in the mood to talk today very much, but I progressed. I did other meditations. I did some very intense meditations by Joe Dispenza. I don't know if you guys know that. Very powerful stuff. And then lately I went because Nandar, you advised me to do so, I went to a 10-day retreat of Vipassana. Speaking of silence, Sue, you don't talk for 10 days, which is very intense. And that basically just changed my life, period. You cannot say otherwise. It's just, I'm more calm, I'm more relaxed, I'm more equanimous. If a prospect calls me and tells me we don't gonna realize the project, I'm like, okay, fine. And before I was like, oh no, why? What did I do wrong? Why it doesn't happen? And now I'm like, okay, apparently it's the way it is. Let's move forward. And sometimes my ego jumps in and say, yeah, why you are so cool? You have to get angry because you're a salesman, you're a businessman, you have to keep going. And astonishingly, since that 10 days, it's just like things are happening like magical. So I continue to meditate. I do most of the time, I do now Vipassana meditation. I'm not very disciplined anymore as I used to be before, but it still happens, so it's okay. But I have to get back to discipline again, at least once a day. Yeah, you have to do it. So that's my share for today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Daniel. Yeah. So thank you very much, Sue. You share your story, and I know that you have made a lot of breakthrough. Anyone else has a questions? Why silence? Why meditation? Why people life change? Right? I mean, I would like to say that very shortly, because we are living in the world of noises, right? There are a lot of news, a lot of things going on, right? It is not happening in our house, it is not happening in our family, but still our mind is always running around, and whatever thoughts that we are hearing, we think that that is true because it is happening in my brain, right? Everybody is feeling it. But this is the noise. If you are going and giving out all this scattered energy, then you do not have the real force underneath all these noises. So this meditation really calm down all the noises. At the same time, it's help you to touch with this very powerful part of psyche. You know, we call it a subconscious mind. We know that we have to clear out our subconscious mind through affirmation, right, through visualization, but it is more powerful than that. When you meditate, of course, you clear out all the subconscious mind. At the same time, we also connect with this super conscious mind, which is we call it, you know, the new ideas will come, how you can live your life better. It will come automatically out of your knowingness. You know, the Jen always know that, you know, what I have to do, I will know, right? And so it is because through meditation, of course, I'm the outside teacher, you know, help you to get into the group of how to feel peaceful and so on. But the reality is you are the teacher of your own. You are the master of your own life, and whatever you have to do, you just know it by being in touch with this powerful part of you. That is what the meditation does, and that is what the Sue, you know, Jen, and also Daniel, William, and anyone, you know, that is here meditating. Michael Germano, so he is now silenced. And then these are the meditators that we've been knowing each other for a while, right? And also Swetlana. Then, of course, you know, I think maybe that you are in the beginning part of the spiritual journey. So I see the Vivian and the Heta. I mean, they also come and join us, you know, some other time. You know, again, I mean, they've been coming often, you know, coming back. And of course, you are warmly welcome to come back. And Larry, Lauren, and Gillian. So you all are new today, but you all are warmly welcome to come and join us, because that a lot of this world out there, if we share something, so we lose something. But the reality is the more we share, the more we have. That is the spiritual energy, right? So when we meditate one, you know, we have it very smaller energy, but the more we share this energy, the more we have. We are raising up the energy of the world right now by meditating together, because there are so many news that's why I need to have my retreats and shave my hair. You know, it's an experiment as well, and, you know, testing my courage. And I did it, and afterwards, oh my God, and I would come back with the wigs, whatever. So this is my last slide. So, I mean, of course, you can learn everything through meditation about this wisdom, you know, and you are warmly welcome to join our community. And of course, I'll be opening up new classes as well, but stay tuned. No? Anything else? Last word? Somebody else would like to type in what you learned today or would like to share something, Jen?
I was just going to say thank you. You know, thank you, Nanda, for, you know, creating this for everybody, showing up and sharing. And Sue, you know, you're just spectacular. And, you know, your story, I think, resonates for all of us. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Jen. Daniel would like to say something, or Vivian? Gillian, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for the share. Thank you, Gillian. Vivian, would like to say something to Daniel?
Yeah,
later.
thank you for
Okay.
sharing your story, and thank you. I am very grateful for the space to learn with you all.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Daniel?
it's been a while since we saw each other, and I know your story already, but I when I saw you today, I think you look more and more like the queen you really are, and the woman you're really meant to be. You look so fantastic and so strong, and your energy is like huge. I remember the first time when I saw you on Zoom, you were strong too, but you weren't that queen, that principessa you are now. And it's awesome to see you. It's also awesome to see your evolution over this 1 or 2 years. I know you now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Let's see. The last word, Sue.
Last word?
The last
That's
word.
all.
Wrap it up our Evolutionary Leaders platform.
Yeah, I mean, it's been quite a journey. We all have our own, and we do what we can when we're ready. And when, you know, intuition is speaking to us, we're just so lucky to have each other in our lives, right? In any little way. And whatever we can share with others, even if it's just a kindness to someone you've never seen before, I think we're really making a huge difference in this world. I mean, we all need it always, but right now, I think our strength and our coming together, it can really help change the world the way Nandor says. So
Yeah.
love you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sue. And Svetlana, I'll call you. I think you're coming up now. Any last word? You also know Sue for a while.
No, I'm with you guys and love you all, but interestingly, my camera was not showing, so I have to open the laptop,
Okay.
which
no
is quite odd, but it's okay.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, everyone. So we'll be meeting each other in 2 weeks with Michael Germano. So you will be also announcing from LinkedIn and of course from our Evolutionary Leader platform. No? See you all there.
See you.
And
take care, guys.
Take
Cheers.
care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.